I've been waiting for this for so long. Sunlock Studios finally released their first gameplay trailer for V Rising, their new upcoming game, and I gotta say, it looks incredible. If you've played Battlerite before, you know how fantastic the polish and feel of their combat was. Sunlock is unmatched when it comes to creating polished, ability-based PvP, and even though quite a lot of people tried out Battlerite, it has always been kind of a niche game. I believe the main factor of its struggle was the scope of Battlerite being too small. It only offered high-octane arena PvP and nothing else. Some people loved it, but most players just had a good time trying it out and sort of stopped after a while because it was just too samey. Now, V Rising though, oh boy, that game is gonna be different. It'll have the same juicy combat that we know and love, but it'll be packaged in a more popular genre and have a much bigger scope and much more variety. Story-wise, you'll play as one of the vampires who, after being beaten in a holy war, have been slumbering for years and finally returning from the darkness to reconquer the world and prey on the puny humans. There will be a big open world, gathering, base building, tons of PvE, many ways to progress your character and castle, full loot PvP, ways to battle for castles of other clans, and there will likely be a mechanic that one player can become Dracula on a server, which will create incentives for PvP as well. The last part sounds maybe a little bit hardcore, but in their new devlog they emphasize heavily that they value player agency and letting people play the game the way they enjoy it. So if you don't like wood chopping all that much, then you probably don't have to do it a lot. And if you don't enjoy PvP and just want a relaxing time while progressing your vampire and your castle, you can focus on easier encounters to farm materials. Plus, you'll be able to group up in a clan with up to 4 vampires, yourself included, and work together on one castle. So you can assign tasks however people enjoy it. Also, an interesting little detail that I loved from their new devlog was that they really want to give new players a quick way to catch up with their friends, because in a lot of survival games it's kind of a hassle to do that, but in V Rising you'll be able to share the recipes that you've learned with your friends and new players can really quickly catch up. Combat will be the same isometric goodness, but your camera will be more open. You can control it 360 degrees and it's also slightly angled, making it feel more free and fitting for an open world. There will be WASD movement and skill shots just like in Battlerite. You'll be able to build your own skill set from both temporary gear that you can craft, but also permanent abilities your vampire can learn and improve over time. You can go out and hunt weak enemies, raid human encampments, or battle bigger, challenging bosses for materials and blood, which will be used for unlocking and strengthening abilities. This isn't 100% confirmed, but I imagine it to be pretty awesome to go out and hunt a big boss to unlock one of their abilities for yourself. Kinda reminds me of the feeling I had in Mega Man when I was a kid. Also, I get a little bit of Monster Hunter vibes, especially when looking at the bosses in the trailer. I imagine they drop materials which can be used to craft armor or weapons, similar to Monster Hunter, and I know how addicting this gameplay loop can be. This is especially exciting to me because I feel like getting new abilities or strengthening them is by far the most fun progression in games. But not a lot of games lean heavily into that. Castles that you build will get bigger over time and can get quite formidable when you become more powerful. You might even be able to build multiple castles later on. However, it will be a challenge to maintain all of them because the blood you gather is not only used to sustain your vampire yourself, but you also need it to maintain the blood well in your castle, which strengthens your defenses and improves your crafting stations. There's honestly so much to talk about, and I don't know how to fit it all in this video, but I tend to have lengthy talks about all the new updates on my Twitch channel if you want to know more. Also, I haven't uploaded to YouTube in years, and I've been kinda scared to get back into it, but having done the first step now, I'll probably release more content in the future. Honestly, I missed you, I really wanted to get back to YouTube, and I'm so excited to have like this big game that I can be extremely excited for. This game, it will be incredible. I have very high hopes for it, and I plan on having a ton of coverage on this game on my channels. There will be guides, gameplay, PvP, all sorts of stuff. I'm already thinking of like interesting little challenges that I could do, maybe like certain events that I can run. I want to experiment and try a lot of new things, and I really want to like step it up as a content creator and fully get back into it. I think V Rising could go much bigger than any of Sunlock's previous games, and it definitely appeals to me more than Battlerite did in a long-term sense. It could be appealing to both casual players and hardcore players, because honestly it kind of feels a little bit like an MMO light to me, but in all the right ways. The game will have a beta later this year, so if you're interested in that, there's gonna be a link in the description or in the comment section, I don't know yet, you'll find it. And you can just click on it and sign up for it. Anyway, that's it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking around. I want to apologize for just having disappeared without having said anything on YouTube. It was really hard for me to get back into it, and I've been dealing with a lot of mental health stuff, been improving a lot over the years, and I'm like still working on it. But now that I've started studying media informatics, I realize how important content creation is to me, and I definitely want it to be a continuous part of my life. So I definitely want to like get back into it, and we'll see where things take us. But honestly, I appreciate all of you, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.